Once upon a time, dinosaurs ruled our world. They walked where we are walking. Sansali fought in this air, on this very land. These giant and strange dinosaurs ruled this earth for about 14 crore years. There were several thousand species of these dinosaurs. Some of these were vegetarian, some were non-vegetarian. Some dinosaurs were of very peaceful nature, while some dinosaurs were very violent and dangerous. These were the most successful creatures of that time. But then what happened suddenly? After all, what was that incident that wiped out all trace of them? To know this, we will have to go back millions of years and take a closer look at that last day of dinosaurs. So let us go back 65 million years from today, i.e. 6 crore 50 million years. About 65 million years ago, the weather on Earth was normal. There was sunlight all around, cool sea breeze hitting the tall trees, and sounds of dinosaurs screaming and chirping all around. When all these dinosaur species were living their lives comfortably on Earth, their fate was already written 10 million years ago. 10 million years ago, a small piece of asteroid was coming from distant space. It collides with a large asteroid moving in the asteroid belt formed by the beach of Mars and Jupiter, about 20 million miles away from Earth. Due to this collision, the direction of that big asteroid changes and it comes out of the asteroid belt and starts moving straight towards the Earth at a speed of 22,000 miles per hour. When this asteroid was at a distance of 3,84,000 kilometers from the Earth, then perhaps dinosaurs would not have been eradicated from the Earth. If this asteroid had collided with Earth's satellite moon, but destiny had something else in store. That's why this big asteroid passed very close to the moon. This 2,000 metric ton asteroid with a radius of 40 kilometers was moving closer to the Earth with every second. When this asteroid came in contact with the atmosphere of 3, its speed suddenly increased to 70,000 kilometers per hour, entering the atmosphere of 3. Also, due to friction, it turned into a terrible fireball. It was moving towards the Earth at such a speed that it crossed the Atlantic Ocean in just 4 minutes. Its brightness was so high that even before it hit the Earth, thousands of creatures had become completely blind after seeing this blazing ball of fire. These creatures were not able to see that, Alka. But he was feeling its terrible heat. Within a few moments, this asteroid hits the ground near the Gulf of Mexico, and a massive explosion occurs with an energy of about 35,000 degrees Celsius. The explosion of this collision was equivalent to the explosion of approximately 10 hydrogen bombs. This explosion was so powerful that as soon as it collided, millions of tons of Earth's metal went into space. A crater 180 kilometers wide and 20 kilometers deep was left at the site of the collision. Due to the explosion, all the metal and stones of this pit turned into a big cloud of dust in the sky. 16 minutes and 40 seconds later, due to the ground collision, seismic waves of 11.1 intensity started rising all around the Earth. Due to this, huge waves were formed in the sea, and tsunami waves started increasing all around, one after the other. Seismic waves destroyed all the active volcanoes, due to which the destruction of dinosaurs started everywhere. The process of great destruction of the Earth had started. In this terrible explosion, the amount of radiation increased so much that all the living beings within a radius of 800 kilometers were completely burnt and turned into a pile of ashes. In this great destruction, flying dinosaurs escaped from these ground dangers, but this was just the beginning of the great cataclysm. Due to the explosion, millions of tons of metal, dust, and dust were thrown into space. Due to gravitational pull, exactly 40 minutes later, it started raining on the entire Earth in the form of balls of fire. Also, a huge dust storm was coming at the speed of 6,000 kilometers per hour, bringing death to the other side of the Earth. These dust clouds were several kilometers thick, due to which it became impossible for sunlight to reach the Earth. Due to the temperature of hot winds exceeding 100 degrees Celsius, almost the entire population of trees and plants on the Earth was burnt to ashes. 90 minutes after the explosion, the Earth's temperature increased by 200 degrees Celsius. Because of this, even the dinosaurs, who were miles away from the area of the explosion, could not escape this heat. Due to this great cataclysm, 90% of the species on Earth were completely destroyed. And out of the 10% creatures that survived on Earth, only those creatures whose weight was less than 30 kilograms could survive. The reason for this was that in this great cataclysm, millions of creatures had been killed, and the entire population of trees and plants had also been burnt to ashes, due to which the big and giant creatures that had survived here had to eat and drink in abundance. Couldn't find it, but this great cataclysm was going to prove beneficial for some other living being. The end of dinosaurs on Earth brought a golden opportunity for a small species, and that species was of mammals. What were mammals? How did humans survive the cataclysm? How and where did humans come from after the end of the dinosaurs? We will know this in the next episode. If you want us to make the next video as soon as possible, then give 2,000